texted Christy.
All right, we are going live in 3, 2. Wait, why am I counting? I already pressed it.
Yeah, we don't need to count.
No, there is no counting here at the Media Boat Podcast. But there is counting though, because you can count on us going live Wednesdays, 8 o'clock.
Actually, don't do
6:30.
that because sometimes we aren't on time. Sometimes it's a different day. So maybe don't.
It's only that way for like the past 2 weeks.
Instead,
just for this summer.
Instead, what they should do, the listeners should go to YouTube, search Media Boat Podcast, find our page, and click on the bell, because then they get notifications when we go live.
Oh, it's like my phone just did right now.
Just like your phone did just now. It's like a miracle of science, how that works out.
Well, I mean, technically it is. It's computer science.
Yeah, computer science.
So
that's
technically that's a science.
Science people made computers work.
Tell our government that.
Okay, we'll be right back. We'll go to Washington, D.C. Get out of frame here long enough for them to believe me. Okay.
I believe the toot sweets.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, we're live. That's for you.
Thank you, sir.
This is for me, and
Sometimes it is just for you.
Sometimes this is just for me. I've come to accept that.
Yeah, most of the time, really. I think we did the same bit last week.
I think we do the bit every week, though, right?
This week, we will have the bits.
Oh, right. This week is the bits.
That's later.
Yes, but before we get to the bits, we got to get to our news. Before we get to the news, we got to start
the podcast.
The actual audio format of the podcast.
Actual podcast. The actual podcast is in town. It's the Media Boat Podcast. We're the most actual podcast out there.
That's what this intro says.
Yeah, forget about all those other podcasts you listen to or have heard of, your serials, your car talks. No, this is the actual podcast. This is the realest. Nothing but the realest news about movies, television, video games, and music. Not necessarily in that order. It's the Media Boat Podcast. I'm Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt.
Yeah.
It is sweltering hot in the summer.
It's hot in California. We're in sunny Southern California. It hit over 100 degrees today. That's Fahrenheit.
In the shade. Well, I don't know if it's in the shade, but it definitely hit triple digits today.
And it's just going to get hotter, folks. It doesn't get cooler. It
doesn't get any hotter than this. And it's not
true.
just hot from all the Comic-Con news that came this weekend.
Ooh-wee, yeah, some hotness happened. So let's get rolling right into it and talk about the hottest thing this week, which was, of course, movies. And the hottest news in movies came from the box office.
All right. So, who is now king of the box office?
Well, we'll get to that a little later, but there is another king notable this week with a $191 million debut to its name. And that, of course, is The Lion King. Disney's The Lion King, the CG remake of the 1994 classic Disney Renaissance film. Made its debut, set a record for, I believe, this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, like this specific weekend in July.
Yes.
But besides that, didn't break any other crazy records. Not like the biggest of Disney's live action, not even the biggest of Disney's Lion King. Obviously, if you know anything about the Lion King.
What is the biggest live action remake for Disney?
I actually don't remember. I think it was Beauty and the Beast.
Is it? Because I thought it was Lion
the first
King.
one. Maybe this one is. I don't know. I haven't been keeping track of it.
Okay.
But what I have been keeping track of is that $1994 were real strong. And so this thing will not beat the original Lion King. However, a pretty impressive debut of $191 million. A lot of people saw this movie. A lot of people have mixed reactions, which I'm sure we'll get to when you talk about the film, because you saw it.
Yes. It was part of my go-see date night movies.
Yes. We'll get back to that in a moment. But before we do, let's recap the rest of the top 5 here.
What else is in the top 5 of the box office? Dropping
down to number 2, Spider-Man Far From Home earns another $21 million. That thing already at $319 million domestic.
It's at like 975 worldwide.
That'll hit $1 billion. Another Disney / Sony $1 billion movie right there.
We'll talk about that in a bit too.
Toy Story 4 is your number 3 with another $15 million. That's at 376.
That is currently outpacing Toy Story 3, which means that is a hit for...
Yeah, easily will be another $1 billion.
Yep.
Number 4...
Pixar.
Yeah, Pixar.
Let me finish my thought there.
Sorry, yes. Still on a roll, as they have been since Good Dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Crawl is your number 4 movie, earning another $6 million. That's a good, counter-programming movie for all the family stuff in theaters right now.
Yeah, all your horror.
$23 million domestic total.
Yeah. Okay.
And lastly, people are still seeing Yesterday somehow. Another $5 million adding to its $57 million.
Which out of a $20 million budget?
Pretty good.
That's a success.
Yeah.
James Royal makes a successful film.
That was a hit.
All right.
Upcoming this week, before we move on to your thoughts here.
What do we got coming up this week?
We have a grand total of 1 movie.
What?
Think about, how there's culinary opposites in food?
Yes.
Well, think about what the culinary opposite of The Lion King would be. And you probably get Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is your one sole release this week.
Yes, there's been ads running about this film all week.
Yeah.
Everywhere I look, critics are raving of it because this is the 9th film from Quentin Tarantino out of 10 films that he supposedly wants to make.
And, buzz seems to be positive before release, but man, I am not ready for all the think pieces and articles that will be written about Quentin Tarantino this week. Oh boy.
Well, we had all that when Inglourious Basterds came out.
It's happening again.
It's happening exact same thing again.
Well, so who knows whether that movie is worth watching. We'll report back next week if we see it.
I
have no plans.
I have no plans to see it. I may see it.
Well,
but I have no current plans to see it.
So we'll see. Watch this space.
This is like a Quentin Tarantino space here. It's shaped like a Q.
Yes.
For him.
Ew. It's shaped like a foot.
It just has a bunch of horizontal stripes.
Yeah.
Like Tim Burton.
Yeah. All right. Well, what you did see though is The Lion King.
Okay.
So let's talk about The Lion King. So, first of all, my first question about The Lion King is, what do you think of the original 1994 The Lion King? Do you think in 2019 that it is still a masterpiece and it still holds up?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that as a cartoon animated version, it definitely holds up.
Okay. So you are a Lion King fan?
Yes.
Have been since it came out?
Yes, I think we have the Blu-ray somewhere in the collection, or I have it on the streaming somewhere. I know I have it.
You have it. I never had it. You probably have it.
I know that I at least purchased it, or at least the merchandise of it.
We had it on VHS. I never bought a copy after that.
Okay. But yeah, no, I have great affinity for The Lion King. It is one of my go-to duet songs with my sister.
Yeah.
Which is I Just Can't Wait to Be King,
yeah.
In which she is Simba and I am Zazu.
Cute.
Yeah. Because I don't get to say a whole lot and I don't get to sing it, I just have to spoken word it. And I get to yell at it too.
Yes. It's key.
Yes, very key there. But yeah, Lion King has a lot of nostalgic songs, a lot of nostalgic set pieces in the original film. It is one of those films that should have made $1 billion back in 1994.
Yeah.
But didn't.
It did in
post-second release.
Yeah, like
post 3D
conversion,
re-release.
Yeah, once the re-released, it did eventually do that.
Yeah. And I think it still holds that ground for the only hand-drawn animated film to reach $1 billion.
It's easy to forget this, but upon its release, it became, by I think the end of 94, maybe going into 95, it was the second highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Well, Titanic wasn't out yet.
Titanic hadn't happened yet. But yeah, it was a big deal. Like at the time.
Right, and considering that this was Disney's B-team animation on it.
Right, yeah.
There's a whole thing on that, too.
The story of The Lion King is fascinating.
Oh,
it's one of the best stories, behind the animation, when you're talking about the Disney Renaissance years. But we don't have time to get into it now.
No, but just the fact that I know of all that shows the amount of dedication I have to the film.
It was important at the time, and you loved it. So,
yes.
All right. What's going on with the remake?
Alright, so the remake takes the cartoon version and turns it into a live-action version.
No, it's CG.
You're right. It is CG. According to Jon Favreau, there's only one shot in the film that is like actually live action shot. Everything else in the film is CG.
So yeah, no, it's not a live action movie.
No.
Let's get that.
Well, okay, I would put huge quotes over here. Live action.
Right.
The Lion King remake, live action. Jon Favreau directed remake film.
Yeah. I've just been calling it the CG remake.
It's a CG film.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, going into the film, I was like, okay, I've seen the trailers. I kind of like what I'm seeing. It has all the shots that I remember from the film, and it's like, yes, this is exactly what Beauty and the Beast was doing.
Yeah.
Like, showing exactly the shots that you want to get you into the theater. And it worked on me. I went to the theater and I saw it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Tears coming in my eyes.
Okay.
It was a fun film.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. I liked it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I enjoyed what I saw on screen. Timon and Pumbaa stole the show. Billy Eichner,
And Seth Rogen.
Well, mainly Billy
Mostly
Eichner.
Billy Eichner.
Mostly Billy Eichner.
Yeah.
as his comedic timing and high pitched voice.
Okay.
But yeah, they basically stole the show. Beyonce feels like a background character, as Nala does.
Yeah.
Even more so, though.
Yeah.
It's like you got big name voice for a tiny part.
Yeah.
Then again, same thing I felt with Donald Glover's part as well, because the movie split in two.
Young Simba is only in half of that movie.
Yeah, young Simba is half that movie, and then older Simba is the other half of that film. Yeah. But it's different, and it takes that live action to heart maybe a little too much. And this is where I see a lot of the people's problems with the film come in.
Yeah.
Mainly being, quick question though.
Okay.
Have you seen a lion emote?
Well, it depends. Because the way that a cartoon emotes is very, very different than a way a real animal does. Like, you can kind of get, like, a vibe from a real lion. You can be like, okay, that lion is pissed off. Okay, that lion is enjoying themselves, or that lion is tired. But that's pretty much it. You can only get, like, a ballpark estimate of how that lion is feeling. As opposed to, of course, a cartoon lion, those animators can put human-like facial expressions on the lion so that way you have a better sense of that lion's emotion. So yeah, it seems like a lot of people had like very like valid complaints that just because of keeping that realism on the screen of these lion characters, you just can't be that emotive. You just cannot do it. It's just the difference in style prohibits you from being as animated as an animated film.
Which is funny because this is a CG film,
right?
Technically animation,
but they're trying to emulate the real thing.
They are.
That's the disconnect. Is that it's the Lion? It's not the Lion. The Jungle Book style, which is we're trying to convince you that these are real animals.
Yes.
And as soon as you do that, you throw away the more frivolous, artistic part of the animation.
Right, and that's what they're going for with this film, the more realism of it, where Zazu's wings only go in one direction. They don't come together at all, because birds can't do that. They don't have rotator cuffs.
So yeah, there's limitations in just the style that they chose for the film. Mm-hmm. So basically, to complain about that is to then complain about the entire film existing.
Yes.
Which again, I'm not saying that's not valid. I'm kind of on that side of the fence. I don't know why this exists. I mean, I do know why this exists.
Because it's a business.
You know what I mean.
Yes.
And so, like, I get it. But yeah,
I get that. Fair. It exists because it's a business, because this is one of Disney's highest grossing films ever, and they want to make more money off of it.
Well, yeah, not only that, but also, like, they want to make sure that people remember these properties before they go away. You know, like, it's also a generational thing. They want younger generations to see the thing that their parents loved when they were kids, because that's what we're talking about now, which is insane.
Which is, all those kids that went to go see the film now have kids of their own.
Yeah, so, old enough to appreciate The Lion King.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it's...
There's reasons that it exists.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, style-wise, they did not have to do it in the way that they did.
They didn't have to do it. They chose to do it to maintain that realism. And seeing that every animal in this thing was animated,
a lot of work.
That's just a lot of work in and of itself. But the way each animal moves, breathes, looks, feels, real. But I know it's fake. But it all looks so real. But I know it's fake.
Which is the point.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
Is that
so they're trying
animation, that CG has gotten so good that it's fake.
It's getting to the point where you
real.
have to ask yourself.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself, wait, what am I watching? It's impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it artistic in the same way? Does it elicit the same kind of feeling and mood that the original animated film does? That's my question.
I think that's something that it going live action loses from the animation, because when you're doing the animation, you can do pop culture references, you can do specific shots, you can do a scene change automatically, you can do a palette swap immediately. You
can do fun, kind of like stylized
you
kind
can
of
do
animation.
Visual gags immediately.
Such as the whole sequence from the original I Just Can't Wait to Be King.
Right.
You can't really do the same thing here. And I imagine that they didn't.
No, because in the animated version, as soon as you go to I Can't Wait to Be King, the beginning of it, as soon as Simba jumps, the whole thing shifts color palettes to a blue background, highlighting Simba's goldenness, and everything is in that style for that musical number.
You can't
have that palette swap in a live action film.
Because you have to still, because the style they chose, they have to maintain the realism. Same
thing goes with Be Prepared. You can't have Nazi imagery of hyenas walking in a straight line while Scar's looking down.
You can't have literal volcanoes erupting around you.
You can't have the skull gag of the prima donna opera. There's a lot of stuff you lose from it. Because you can't go that visual gag cartoon route.
So you mentioned that you were entertained by this, but was it as fun?
No.
That's the problem here. I could see that a lot of the fun coming out and just getting sucked out.
The visual fun is draining, but a lot of the comedic gags that they do to replace it are fun.
They have to make new ones.
Yeah, like the Keegan-Michael Key and Andre Jordan. No, it's not Andre Jordan.
But
and Andre, whatever his name is, 3000.
No, it's not Andre 3000. That would have been great if they got Andre 3000.
No, it's Eric Andre.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Way better.
But them as the hyena duo works. They don't need the third act, Ed character, but them as a duo work so well, and they play up those gags in the rule of threes as you should. And they work every single time. They changed up where one of the hyenas, Shenzai, is now more like the leader of the hyenas rather than just one of the three. So there's a hierarchy in there. They definitely changed up the keys for the key change for Be Prepared, which works and doesn't work because it's such an iconic song to where it doesn't work. But because you're living in such a realism type style, to where Lion's not just gonna totally break out into song for one song, it works. One thing that I have seen online complain about is, "Can you feel the love tonight?" But it was in the daytime. But makes sense because if you do it at night, unlike you can do in an animated film where you can brighten up the blues, and I'd kind of highlight that. As soon as it goes dark in the jungle, what's your light source?
Nothing.
Exactly.
The moon.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, they could have.
They could have highlighted that. They could have highlighted it.
How's the new music?
You mean the one new song?
Yeah.
Beyonce's new song?
Right.
It's fine. It doesn't feel like it adds anything, much like in the same vein as all the other films that have come before it.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to add new songs.
Yeah, we talked about this when
But-
we talked about Aladdin.
But I do actually want to hit on this
Okay.
real briefly because for an older generation, it doesn't hit because you didn't grow up with it. But I was at a pool party with some girls. They were like 7 and 8.
Oh, literal girls. Okay.
Literal girls.
Literal children.
Literal
Got
children.
it.
And I was doing my medley of
Yeah.
name a Disney tune and I'll sing it to you.
Yeah.
As I do, because I'm a human jukebox.
Yes.
And so they said, "Can you do Speechless?" I was like,
What's Speechless?
"I don't know Speechless. You know Speechless from Aladdin." "Oh, you mean from the new Aladdin?"
Right.
And they're like,
You
"Yeah,
did know.
we like that song. That's our new favorite song." I was like, "Okay, I don't know that one because it's new." And I tried to use that excuse, but seeing as little girls, gravitated immediately to that song, saying that's our favorite song.
Oh yeah, there's an audience.
There's an
for it.
audience for it.
Clearly,
Yeah.
they're smart in the way they are doing that. Yes.
Yeah, and so I think like same thing with like all these other songs. I'm sure there's people out there, or like little girls or little children out there,
Right.
who gravitate towards these songs.
Yeah.
But as an older generation, it's not hitting us immediately as it would for them.
To a bunch of people, this will be their Lion King.
Right.
It'll be old fuddy-duddies like us saying, "Oh, well, you should watch the old one," and they'll watch it, and it won't be as magical for them
Right.
because they know and love the one they saw first, just like we did.
Mm-hmm. I'd be like, wait, why is all of a sudden this happening? Where'd the hula hoop skirt come from? What? I don't get it.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, like wait, like when you go to the jungle, like wait, where's all the other animals? Why is it just Timon and Pumbaa? Where's the other animals
Yeah.
that are there?
Yeah, I mean, so basically what I'm hearing is like it's an entertaining movie. It does its job.
Yeah.
It's good for people who maybe aren't as familiar or in love with the original. It's an existing thing that does kind of its own thing well enough
Mm-hmm.
that it can exist alongside the original.
Yeah.
But yes, but we should say viewer beware if you just are not on board with the stylistic change.
Or if you're not on board with like these Disney live action remakes they've been
Which
doing.
is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Then this might not be for you. And that's why I've resignated I'm probably not going to see it.
Right.
If it's on like some sort of streaming service, say Disney Plus, someday and I'm bored, maybe. But like as it stands right now, I'm not going to go and pay $14 for something I know that's not going to be my jam.
Right.
But
And that makes sense.
but
I mean,
it seems
why
like
would you?
this is entertaining enough to be seen if you want to go see.
No, yeah, it definitely has all the entertainment you want in it. It is the Lion King after all.
Right.
It has Simba, Scar, Mufasa. Ooh, speaking of Mufasa,
Uh-huh.
James Earl Jones sounds old in this thing.
I mean, he's literally 25 years older than he was when he recorded the original.
Right, but the fact that like even in like the first film, he had like this powerful booming voice,
He
and
still
you're like
does
clearly,
to a certain extent, right?
well, to an extent he does, but a majority of it felt more of like an older gravitas.
Yeah, but I mean,
type of
we said the
role.
same thing about Tom Hanks and Tim Allen when we were talking about Toy Story 4 as well.
Yeah.
They sound older, and you can definitely tell.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're
It's
toys.
just-
They're not supposed to sound different.
Yeah,
but
just
it's just part of
25
aging.
years is a long time, is I guess what we're finding out here.
I don't know. How did you sound 25 years ago?
I was a very, very, very different sounding voice back then.
I think a lot of us were saying a lot of like cool, hip, 90s slang.
Yes, at age 4.
That's what the cool, hip kids were doing.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, cool. Do you have anything else to say about Lion King? I'm guessing you're putting this on the patented media boat scale as a go see it, but with an asterisk.
Go see it with a big asterisk that you don't need to rush out and see it, but if you need the entertaining factor of a Disney film,
Yeah.
it definitely has it.
All right. If that's
but
it,
I don't know. The only thing else I can do is just keep praising that animation, because holy hell,
Yeah,
that
to the
animation
point-
was
yeah.
super ridiculous. That it followed a mouse for literally like 90 seconds. It felt like a long time, but it was like 90 seconds. And the way it moved, the way it like stopped and breathed, the way it twitched,
That's a real
all
mouse.
the hair, it was like, that's a real mouse that you're following. No, it's not. That's a fake mouse. It's like, you're just playing with me at this
just
point.
like that gutter in Toy Story 4. It's like, that's just real.
Yeah, that's just
This is real.
They just shot that
Sit
together.
outside.
Nope.
Put that aside.
Just
Alright.
show me that tech demo.
With that, we move on then. that's it for our thoughts. We have to talk about movie news because so much movie news happened.
So, yeah, last week, or this past weekend, was San Diego Comic-Con.
San Diego Comic-Con.
See, that's what it looked like. It's just live. It looks real.
You're being distracted by the Serengeti.
Oh,
Anyways,
the Serengeti.
So with Comic-Con, of course, comes Marvel news, and we knew that the big drop was going to happen. We had been wondering, post-Endgame, what the MCU had planned for us, and now, for the most part, there's still some secrets down the line, but we know a great deal of what to expect.
Yeah, so following Endgame and then following Spider-Man Far From Home, Kevin Feige's been pretty mum on the future of Marvel. We knew beforehand that they were going to take a break, that there was going to be no film post-Spider-Man for the end of the year.
Yeah.
We knew that already. There wasn't going to be a third one.
So 2020 was going to be the big comeback.
Yeah, we knew that they didn't have anything in production at the time, and the first one would be 2020 Black Widow, when they announced the Black Widow solo film right before Endgame came out, and then shocked us all with its huge twist.
Right. So.
But yeah, DC, we already knew, wasn't going to be at Comic-Con, so Marvel literally had the entire stage set up for them.
So, we would be remiss to not mention, though, real quick, before we talk about the new stuff, we have to talk about the old stuff real briefly, because Endgame finally hit the milestone we had been waiting for it to hit.
Yes.
It has...
3 billion! Wait, no, not 3 billion yet.
Not quite. But it has finally passed Avatar, with an asterisk, to become the #1 highest-grossing worldwide film of all time.
Yes.
So yeah, all you internet jerks who have been waiting forever for this to be a thing, well, there you go, you get it. Are you happy now?
Here's your crown, be happy.
Well, yes.
Here's your Avatar dethronement. Even though
$2.790 billion.
Yes, the previous record was $2.89 million.
Yeah.
Billion.
So it's basically there.
Right, but seeing as Disney technically owns both of them now, does it really matter? It's going to the same bank account.
It's like, oh good, the Disney film beat the Disney film to become #1. Yeah.
For a while, it was like that.
So yeah, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't mention that real quick. But yes, the real big news, of course, was Phase 4. As you mentioned, Black Widow will be the first film of this new phase. Mm-hmm. It begins in May 2020, so it will be your summer movie.
That film is currently shooting. It is not yet done, wrapped up.
Yeah.
And when it is, they'll still have to go into post-production, so they're cutting it kind of close here. But maybe not close enough because they know exactly what they're doing.
It will be followed in November 2020 by The Eternals.
Ooh, big, infinite Eternals.
So what are the Eternals for, say, me, the uninitiated in Marvel Comics? What are they?
For those of you who are wondering, what is an Eternal?
Yeah.
They were briefly mentioned in Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1, as people who could wield the Infinity Stones.
Got it.
These, in the comics books, however, these guys are what's responsible for the mutants and the deviants. Deviants being what Thanos is.
Right.
And mutants being what the X-Men are.
Yeah.
So, with the announcement of the Eternals, this is basically Marvel saying, we're going to set up the X-Men, but before we get to just having X-Men thrown in there, we need to basically say, this is where the X-Men came from. This is their semi-origin story. Because how the X-Men basically come out of nowhere is like, oh, now everyone has superpowers because everyone's an X-Men, everyone's a mutant.
Yeah.
That's going to be like, what?
It's a good backstory to set up.
Yeah.
So, they continued on, but they noted that this new phase will, for the first time, include both their television shows as well as their films. So, from here on, there will be a mix of television shows and movies. Yes, before you say anything, I know technically Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., an existing television show, was in the MCU. It did have characters who existed in both, and it did comment on things that happened in both. But this is the first time they're doing officially nah, this is officially Phase 4 material.
This is Marvel saying what happens in the Disney Plus streaming services
Matters.
will matter and affect what happens in the MCU films.
So yeah, the already announced Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be on Disney Plus in fall 2020. No specific month there.
No, all of these streaming services are just relative dates or relative seasons.
And will be followed by the television shows Shang-Chi.
No, that's a movie. That's a movie.
Not specify.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will be followed by the movie Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings in February 2021. Who is Shang-Chi? Why should I care?
Shang-Chi is a master of the martial arts.
Okay.
He is the son of Fu Manchu.
Mark is calling me.
He's the son of Fu Manchu. Yes, that Fu Manchu, who is a Marvel character. But due to some legal reasons, and also Fu Manchu is really part of the 70s Marvel, they're gonna change that, and instead the Mandarin, that Mandarin, will officially make his debut in this Shang-Chi film and be that villain and possibly Shang-Chi's father if they're gonna do the actual story-wise. Because in the Marvel comics, Shang-Chi is the son of the gang ruler, who basically goes all Lion King and backstabs his... No, sorry. Doesn't kill his father. But, yeah, kills the father.
Mm.
And, yeah, basically becomes the good guy there. His special ability, if you want to call it that special ability, is that he knows all Kung Fu. Matrix style.
Convenient.
all forms of martial arts he studied in and has become black belt master in. It's his special power.
Why? Okay.
I don't know.
Alright, let's be quick.
Anyways, it's also kind of Marvel's way of reaching into the Chinese audience as well. It's been struggling there. But there's other films.
Yes, there are. And television shows. So the WandaVision television show, which is about Wanda and Vision.
Yes.
In case you couldn't figure that out, will also be a 2021 release on Disney Plus.
Yes, that's also a TV show.
And the film Loki.
No, TV show.
The
Loki.
TV show. You did not specify which one was which.
Neither did Marvel.
Uh-huh.
They didn't specify in their timeline which was which. They just said it. But we also knew that these were coming to Disney Plus.
Okay, so Loki will be getting a TV show.
Yes. Loki is dead. This will be Loki's version of... This will be the version of Loki that survived the Captain America.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And it's... It's one that's right there. It kind of goes on those adventures because, as we all know, Loki's dead in our 616 universe, as we like to call it in the nerd universe. But we'll get to that side story of what Loki's been doing, what Loki's kind of doing, kind of, sort of, hopefully, maybe open up the multiverse. Maybe. But I only say that because the next film will kind of guarantee that.
Yeah. Which will be Doctor Strange.
Yes.
And in the multiverse of madness.
Yes. This will be Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch teaming up in this film.
Right.
To maybe do a multiverse movie?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think we should pause.
I don't know. Why?
I think we should pause.
Oh, you just want
to... We gotta resolve this.
Alright. We'll be back
later.
Wait, let's finish up Marvel first?
No.
Okay, you're kind of distracted.
No, because he's pissed. Okay, so you told